For more than 1,000 years, Rome shaped the destiny of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Its armies conquered vast lands. Its engineers built roads, bridges, and aqueducts that still stand today. Its laws, language, and ideas continue to influence the modern world. But every empire, no matter how powerful, has a beginning. The story of Rome began, not as an empire, but as a small settlement beside a quiet river in central Italy. The Italian peninsula offered fertile farmland, fresh water, and access to important trade routes. Different peoples lived across the region, including the Latins, Sabines, Samnites, Greeks, and the powerful Etruscans. Their cultures, traditions, and innovations would all help shape the future of Rome. According to Roman tradition, the city was founded in 753 BC by twin brothers, Romulus and Remus. Legend tells that they were abandoned as infants, rescued by a she-wolf, and later raised by a shepherd. As adults, they decided to build a new city. A dispute over its location ended in tragedy. Romulus killed his brother and gave the city his own name, Rome. The story of Romulus and Remus remains one of history's most famous legends. Archaeologists have discovered evidence of settlements on Rome's hills dating to the 8th century BC, supporting the idea that a community was growing there during this period. However, the famous tale of the twins and the she-wolf belongs to Roman tradition rather than confirmed history. Like many ancient civilizations, Rome blended historical memory with powerful legend. From these humble beginnings, a community slowly grew. Few could have imagined that this small settlement beside the Tiber would one day become the heart of an empire stretching across 3 continents. Rome's greatest journey was only beginning. Long before emperors ruled Rome, the city was governed by kings. According to Roman tradition, 7 kings ruled Rome from its founding until the late 6th century BC. Some may be based on real historical figures, while others belong partly to legend. Together, they represent Rome's earliest period of growth. During these centuries, Rome evolved from a collection of villages into an organized city. One of the greatest influences on early Rome came from the Etruscans. North of Rome, the Etruscans built prosperous cities, mastered metalworking, and developed advanced engineering techniques. Many traditions later associated with Rome, including certain religious rituals, symbols of authority, and urban planning, were shaped by Etruscan influence. Rome did not emerge in isolation. It learned from the cultures around it. As Rome grew, ambitious construction projects transformed the city. Roads connected communities. Temples honored the gods. Public spaces encouraged trade and civic life. One remarkable achievement was the Cloaca Maxima, a massive drainage system that helped turn marshland into usable urban space. These early engineering projects reflected a practical mindset, one that would later help Rome build an empire. According to Roman tradition, Rome's final king was Tarquinius Superbus, known as Tarquin the Proud. Ancient writers describe him as a ruler who governed through fear, ignored traditional limits on royal power, and alienated many of Rome's leading families. Whether every detail is accurate remains uncertain. But Roman memory portrayed his reign as a warning against tyranny. Around 509 BC, Rome's monarchy came to an end. The king was expelled, and a new system emerged: the Roman Republic. Power would no longer rest in the hands of a single ruler. Instead, elected officials and the Senate would guide the state. It was a bold experiment, one that would change world history. Around 509 BC, Rome entered a new chapter. The monarchy was gone. In its place, the Romans established a republic. Unlike a kingdom, no single person would hold absolute power. Instead, elected officials known as consuls served limited terms, while the Roman Senate advised and guided the government. It was an ambitious system designed to prevent the return of tyranny. Roman society was divided into two main groups: the patricians, powerful noble families, held most political influence; the plebeians, who made up the majority of the population, were farmers, craftsmen, merchants, and soldiers. As Rome grew, many plebeians demanded greater political rights. Their struggle would help shape the future of the republic. Over time, the plebeians won important victories. They gained representatives known as tribunes, officials who could defend ordinary citizens. Later, Rome published its first written laws, the 12 Tables. By placing the law where everyone could see it, justice became less dependent on tradition alone. These reforms strengthened the republic and laid the foundation for Roman law. As its government became stronger, Rome also expanded its territory. Through a combination of warfare, diplomacy, and alliances, the Republic gradually brought much of the Italian peninsula under its influence. Rome often offered defeated communities opportunities to become allies, strengthening its military and economic power. Every victory made the Republic more confident and more ambitious. By the 3rd century BC, Rome had become the dominant power in Italy. But across the Mediterranean, another great civilization watched carefully: Carthage. Rich, powerful, and master of the seas. Soon, these two rising powers would collide in a struggle that would change the course of history forever. By the 3rd century BC, two great powers dominated the Western Mediterranean: Rome, master of the Italian peninsula, and Carthage, a wealthy maritime empire based in North Africa. Both sought influence, trade, and security. Their competing ambitions would ignite a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars, wars that would shape the future of the ancient world. Among Carthage's greatest leaders, one name would become legendary: Hannibal Barca. According to ancient tradition, as a child, Hannibal swore an oath to remain an enemy of Rome. Whether every detail of that story is true remains uncertain. What is certain is that Hannibal became one of history's most brilliant military commanders. In 218 BC, Hannibal launched one of the boldest military campaigns ever attempted. Rather than attack Rome by sea, he marched his army across southern Europe and through the towering Alps. Alongside thousands of soldiers, he brought cavalry and even war elephants. The journey was devastating. Many men and animals were lost. But against extraordinary odds, Hannibal reached Italy, shocking the Roman Republic. Hannibal defeated Roman armies again and again. His greatest victory came at the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC. Using remarkable tactics, Hannibal surrounded a much larger Roman force. The defeat was catastrophic. Ancient writers reported enormous Roman losses, though the exact numbers remain debated. Even today, military academies study Hannibal's strategy as one of history's greatest battlefield achievements. Many believed Rome would fall, but the Republic refused to surrender. Instead of seeking peace, Rome rebuilt its armies, adapted its strategy, and prepared for a long war. Hannibal had won remarkable victories, yet the struggle for the Mediterranean was far from over. While Hannibal campaigned in Italy, Rome devised a new strategy. Rather than chasing Hannibal across the peninsula, the Republic struck at Carthage itself. A gifted young commander, Scipio Africanus, led Roman forces across the Mediterranean, forcing Hannibal to return home and defend his city. In 202 BC, the two greatest commanders of their age finally met at the Battle of Zama. Scipio adapted his tactics, neutralizing Hannibal's war elephants and defeating the Carthaginian army. The victory ended the Second Punic War. Rome had survived its greatest challenge and emerged stronger than ever before. Decades after Hannibal's defeat, tensions rose once again. During the Third Punic War, Roman forces laid siege to Carthage. In 146 BC, the city fell. Much of Carthage was destroyed, and its remaining population was enslaved or displaced. Rome's greatest rival had vanished. The Mediterranean was now overwhelmingly under Roman influence. Victory brought enormous wealth. New provinces supplied grain, precious metals, and trade opportunities. But success also created new challenges. Wealth became increasingly concentrated. Many small farmers struggled to compete, while ambitious generals gained influence through loyal armies. Political rivalry intensified. The Republic, once united against foreign enemies, now faced growing divisions from within. Amid these political struggles, one ambitious young Roman began his journey. His name, Julius Caesar. Soldier, politician, and brilliant strategist. His rise would transform Rome forever and bring the Republic to its greatest crisis. Julius Caesar was more than a politician. He was an exceptional military commander. Between 58 and 50 BC, he led Roman legions in the conquest of Gaul, a vast region covering much of modern France, Belgium, and parts of Switzerland. His victories expanded Rome's territory, brought immense wealth, and earned him the loyalty of battle-hardened soldiers. Caesar had become one of the most powerful men in the Republic. In 49 BC, the Roman Senate ordered Caesar to surrender his command. Instead, he made a decision that changed history. He crossed the Rubicon River, leading his army into Italy. According to ancient tradition, Caesar declared, "The die is cast." Whether those exact words were spoken remains uncertain. But his actions sparked a civil war, from which there would be no turning back. Caesar emerged victorious. His rival, Pompey the Great, was defeated. Returning to Rome, Caesar introduced reforms to government, expanded opportunities for many citizens, and reorganized parts of the Republic. Eventually, he accepted the title, dictator for life. To many Romans, it appeared that the Republic itself was coming to an end. On the Ides of March 15th, 44 BC, a group of senators carried out a carefully planned assassination. They believed they were saving the Republic by preventing one man from becoming king. Ancient writers later described Caesar's final moments in dramatic detail. Some famous quotations, including "Et tu, Brute," became popular through later literature, especially the plays of William Shakespeare, rather than contemporary historical evidence. Caesar's death did not restore peace. Instead, Rome plunged into another civil war. The Republic, already weakened by years of conflict, stood on the brink of collapse. From the chaos, a new leader would emerge, and Rome would soon become an empire. The assassination of Julius Caesar left Rome without a clear leader. Into the uncertainty stepped Gaius Octavius, better known as Octavian. Though only 18 years old, he had been named Caesar's adopted son and heir. Many underestimated the quiet young politician. But beneath his calm appearance lay remarkable determination, patience, and political skill. To restore order, Octavian joined forces with two powerful allies, Mark Antony and Lepidus. Together, they formed the Second Triumvirate. Their alliance defeated Caesar's assassins, but it was never meant to last. As their power grew, so did their rivalry. Soon, Rome would once again descend into civil war. In 31 BC, the struggle for Rome reached its climax, off the coast of Greece. Octavian faced the combined forces of Mark Antony and Cleopatra VII of Egypt at the Battle of Actium. Octavian's fleet emerged victorious. Within a year, Antony and Cleopatra were dead. No rival remained. Rome now belonged to Octavian alone. In 27 BC, the Senate granted Octavian a new title, Augustus, meaning the revered one. Though he preserved many republican institutions, real authority rested in his hands. Historians generally regard this moment as the beginning of the Roman Empire. After generations of civil war, a new era had begun. Augustus rebuilt Rome, strengthened its economy, and secured its frontiers. His reign marked the beginning of the Pax Romana, a long period of relative peace and stability. Under Augustus, Rome was no longer simply a republic. It had become one of the greatest empires the world had ever known. By the early 2nd century AD, Rome had become the greatest empire of its age. Under Emperor Trajan, its territory stretched across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. More than 60 million people lived under Roman rule. Roads, ports, and cities connected an empire unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. At the heart of the empire stood the city of Rome, home to perhaps 1 million people. It was one of the largest cities in the world. Massive aqueducts supplied fresh water. Public baths welcomed citizens from many walks of life. Markets offered goods from distant lands, and impressive temples, forums, and monuments reflected the wealth and confidence of the empire. Rome's greatest strength was not only its army, it was its engineering. Roman roads stretched for tens of thousands of kilometers, allowing armies, merchants, and information to move quickly across the empire. Bridges, aqueducts, and remarkable buildings, many constructed with durable Roman concrete, demonstrated engineering skills that continue to inspire architects today. Not every emperor sought conquest. Hadrian focused on securing the empire's borders, ordering the construction of Hadrian's Wall in northern Britain. Years later, Marcus Aurelius, remembered as the philosopher emperor, ruled during difficult times. Even while leading armies, he wrote reflections on duty, resilience, and the responsibilities of leadership. His writings continue to be read nearly 2,000 years later. During the Pax Romana, generations lived in relative peace. Trade flourished, cities prospered, ideas traveled freely across continents. Rome appeared unstoppable, but beneath its strength, new challenges were beginning to emerge. No empire, however powerful, remains unchanged forever. After centuries of prosperity, Rome entered one of the most difficult periods in its history. During the 3rd century crisis, the empire faced civil wars, economic hardship, disease, and repeated invasions. Emperors rose and fell with alarming speed. Many wondered whether the Roman Empire could survive at all. In the early 4th century, a new leader emerged, Constantine, a skilled military commander. He defeated his rivals and reunited the empire. Ancient sources record that before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, Constantine experienced a vision connected with the Christian faith. Historians agree that after his victory, he became a major supporter of Christianity, though the exact nature of his reported vision remains a subject of historical debate. In AD 330, Constantine founded a new imperial capital, Constantinople. Built on the site of the ancient city of Byzantium, it occupied one of the most strategic locations in the world. Positioned between Europe and Asia, the city became a center of trade, culture, and government, serving as the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire for more than 1,000 years. As the empire grew more difficult to govern, Roman leaders increasingly divided administrative responsibilities. By the late 4th century, the empire was formally separated into the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. Though both considered themselves Roman, their futures would be very different. The East would endure for centuries. The West faced mounting challenges. Pressure on Rome's borders continued to grow. New peoples, changing alliances, and internal struggles tested the empire like never before. The Western Roman Empire, once master of the known world, was approaching its final chapter. But even as one age ended, Rome's legacy was far from over. By the 5th century AD, the Western Roman Empire had grown weaker. Years of political instability, economic decline, and repeated invasions strained the empire beyond its limits. In AD 476, the young emperor Romulus Augustus was removed from power by the Germanic leader Odoacer. Historians traditionally mark this event as the fall of the Western Roman Empire. An empire that had ruled much of the known world for centuries had come to an end. But Rome did not disappear overnight. In the east, the empire continued from its capital, Constantinople. Today, historians call it the Byzantine Empire. Its people, however, still considered themselves Romans. For nearly 1,000 more years, they preserved Roman law, culture, and traditions until the city's fall in AD 1453. Although the empire faded, its influence never truly vanished. Roman law became the foundation for many modern legal systems. Roman engineering inspired generations of architects and builders. Latin shaped dozens of modern languages. Republican ideas influenced governments across the world. Even today, countless roads, bridges, public buildings, and institutions carry the imprint of ancient Rome. Rome was more than an empire. It was an idea that laws should govern nations, that roads could unite continents, that engineering could transform civilizations, that ambition, discipline, and vision could build something that outlived generations. More than 15 centuries after the fall of the Western Empire, Rome continues to shape the world we live in today. Every empire rises, every empire changes, and every empire leaves a legacy. Few, however, have shaped human history as profoundly as Rome. Its empire may have fallen, but its story continues to live on. Thank you for journeying through history with us. If you're passionate about the hidden stories that shaped our modern world, subscribe to the channel and join our community. Drop a comment below on which historical era we should uncover next. Until next time, keep exploring the past, because history is never truly gone.